tell
To
us.
me, when I've worked with her,
You did?
to be honest, yung nasabi nga nung minsan, nabato ako ng laptop eh.
Uy, grabe ang baha. Uy, Jesus. Lola, ano?
Magandang hapon po sa ating lahat dito sa Donmar TV. At pag-uusapan natin itong balita, ito yung una nating balita ha. Itong mga motor na naanod sa sa flash flood. Meron akong video na ipapakita sa inyo na hindi natin dapat kalimutan itong flood control. Sa sinabi ni Erwin Tulfo na puro na lang tayo flood control. Paano namin makakalimutan ang flood control? Heto na naman. Dito sa South Cotabato, umulan. Okay? Hindi nga ito bagyo eh. Ordinaryong ulan. Bumaha doon. Yung mga motor doon, naanod. Sa Bisaya pa, nangaanod. Mamaya, ipapakita ko yung video na yan. Ito yung reminder sa lahat ng mga politicians na hindi natin dapat kalimutan ang flood control. Na ninakaw ang budget nito ng mga crocodile dyan. Especially dyan sa House of Representatives. Yung mga senador na nagagalit dito sa mga nagnanakaw dito sa flood control, especially itong Senator Marcoleta, Senator Jinggoy, at itong dating Congressman Mike Defensor, sila pa yung unang nakulong. Sila yung galit sa flood control, pero sila yung nakulong. Sila yung gustong paimbestigahan itong flood control, pero sila yung nakulong. Ganyan ang Administrasyong Marcos. At pangalawa nating pag-usapan, nagtitrending po itong balita patungkol po dito kay Senator Raffy Tulfo, kung saan bumisita siya dito sa namatay na vlogger na itong si Mima Alicia. Binatikos na naman siya dito kasi buti pa itong fake news na, talagang fake news naman, marami sa kanyang vlogs na nakikita natin, especially doon sa binatikos niya ng banatan si BP Sara na buntis raw si BP Sara, nagpalaglag raw si BP Sara sa ibang bansa. Ganun ba? Yun ang mga example na fake news itong si Mima Alicia. Mantakin nyo, binisita pa ni Raffy Tulfo. Binisita ni Raffy Tulfo. Tapos, binatikos po si Raffy Tulfo. Binisita po si Raffy Tulfo. Itong vlogger na ito na fake news. Pero hindi nila binisita yung mga biktima dito sa mga kriminal na ito nung namatay yung Move It driver at pati yung si Rene. Hindi raw binisita nila ni Tulfo yun. Pero itong walang kwentang vlogger na namatay, binisita. Kaya binatikos siya ngayon. Okay? Yan ang mga nandoon sa comment section. Mamaya, ating i-play yan kasi nag-sign of the cross pa siya doon sa lamay ni Mima eh. Wala talaga, sablay. At last but not the least na ating pag-uusapan ay pakinggan po natin ang interview nitong si yung magaling na spokesperson ng defense team ni VP Sara and at the same time lawyer ni VP Sara, itong si Attorney Michael Powa, na na-shock itong si Karen Davila dito sa mga sagot ni Attorney Powa. Di ba? Na-shock si Karen eh. Mamaya ating po pakinggan yan ha. Pero bago ang lahat guys, paki-like, paki-share itong ating video para kakalat ito sa taong bayan, para marinig ang mga katotohanan na binabalita natin. Okay? At sa mga hindi pa nakasubscribe at kung bago ka pa lang dito sa Donmar TV, mag-subscribe ka na kasi libre lang po ang mag-subscribe sa YouTube. walang bayad yan. No? Updated pa kayo sa ating mga trending na mga balita. Okay? So, yan. Bago natin simulan ay as promised, sa mga nagpapabati sa atin, so nagpapa-shoutout dito at mga loyal na mga viewers natin, mga audience natin dito sa Don Mar TV ay atin namang babatiin. Ito, Jocelyn Gabalo. Good morning, Don Mar, watching from Kuwait. God bless you and to your family. Ma'am, maraming salamat, Ma'am Jocelyn. God bless you rin and sa inyong pamilya, Ma'am Jocelyn. Marie Ignacio, Ria Mar Ignacio, nakabawi man lang. Ayan. Maraming salamat sa comment mo, Ria. Miss Blandy, ito, kaibigan ko to. Good evening, Sir Donmar, watching from Saudi Arabia. Dati, ang laki ng respeto ko sa mga Tulfo brothers, ngayon wala na. Ayan. Di ba? Itong ipapakita ko sa iyo, Ma'am Blandy, no? Mas lalo kang hindi nahahanga sa mga Tulfo. Thank you, Miss Blandy. Lenny Galasic, if Senator Padilla will run as senator, I will vote for him. Ayan. Maraming salamat, Ma'am Lenny Galasic. Ayan. Thank you. Richard Lim. Ayan, si Richard Lim. Robin, you are amazing and intelligent as well. Ayan, maraming salamat, Sir Richard Lim. Ayan, sa mga gustong mag-comment dyan at magpabati, mag-ano lang kayo ha. Comment lang kayo para mabasa natin. Okay, heto. Panoorin natin itong nangyari sa South Cotabato. South Cotabato, Cannery Polomok. Polomolok. Cannery Polomolok, South Cotabato. Binaha po doon. Kawawa yung mga motor na naanod sa baha. Ayan, ito. Panoorin po nyo ito. Tingnan nyo.
Uy, grabe ang baha. Uy, Jesus. Hala, ano? Hala! Uy, Jesus. Uy! Grabe. Hala, ang click. Naunsa naman na.
Grabe.
Grabe ang baha.
Okay na natin na siguro. Ang baha.
Ano pa yan ha? Parang national road pa yan ha? Pero binaha. Kasi malaki yung ano eh. Road na yan eh. Parang, I think it's a national road ha?
Nawala to. Ano?
Ano ba dito?
Agi ko ito. Baho kay gas. Gani.
Grabe.
Wala ang sa baba o dito. Hurugin ko.
Parang naging river bigla oh. Kawawa. So bumalik na. Dito natin ilagay. Yan. Dito. Yan. Anong ma-comment natin dito? Sa sinabi ni Erwin Tulfo na mag-move on na kayo. Move on na. Puro kayo flood control. Issue ng flood control kayo. Alam mo, Erwin Tulfo, hindi namin makakalimutan yung flood control kasi halos every week nare-remind kami sa baha. Ito yung palatandaan na ninakaw ng mga politicians itong mga flood control na budget. Kaya bumabaha. Tapos sasabihin mo, kalimutan natin yung flood control, hindi namin makakalimutan yan. Oh, kayong mga kawatan na mga politicians na mga nagnanakaw dito sa flood control. Di ba kayo, tingnan ninyo. Dahil sa inyo, sa pagnanakaw ninyo, ito yung nangyari, oh. Di ba kayo nahiya dyan? Makakatulog pa ba kayo? Dyan sa mga higaan ninyo? Makakain pa ba kayo ng masarap na pagkain dyan? Kaya pa nyo bang lunukin yung mga masasarap nyo pagkain sa mesa ninyo? Ang sarap-sarap ng bahay ninyo? Ang sarap-sarap, ang mga marangya yung mga sasakyan ninyo? Ang sarap-sarap na mga pagkain ninyo? Kaya ninyo yan? Tingnan? Yan ang ginawa nyo. Kawawa. Kaya ang taong bayan, galit na galit. Kaya, ang taong bayan, nasusuka na dito sa Administrasyong Marcos. Kaya ang taong bayan, ang trust rating ni BBM, negative. Kasi, hanggang ngayon, wala pang nakukulong na mastermind dyan sa flood control. Ang una ninyong pinakulong, yung mga nagalit sa flood control na sina Marcoleta, Mike Defensor at si Jinggoy Estrada. Yan ang pinakulong ninyo. Ha? Hindi kayo masyadong halata. Hindi kayo masyadong halata. Sasabihin ng ibang tao, sana malunod rin kayo sa baha. Paano hindi sila malunod sa baha? Ang ganda-ganda ng mga bahay nila. 'Di ba? Paano na yung mga pobre nating mga kababayan? Na sila yung unang magiging biktima sa baha. Wala ang mga konsensya itong mga kawatan na ito. Ay nako. Ewan ko na lang. Heto. Si Erwin Tulfo yung nagsabi na puros kayo flood control na issue, mag-move on kayo, hindi na, 'di ba? Yan ang sabi ni Erwin Tulfo. Heto naman yung kapatid, Sablay. Mas binisita pa niya ang vlogger na si Mima na fake news. Tapos hinawakan pa niya yung burol ni Mima. Doon yung kabaong ni Mima o yung doon mga decoration doon, hinawakan niya, nag-sign of the cross pa yung gago. Nakakatawa nga eh. Ito, sablay ito. Ito, panoorin nyo si Raffy Tulfo, tingnan ninyo. Sa burol yan ha. Sa burol yan ni Mima Alicia. Bumisita siya. Si Ontiveros, si Trillanes, tapos nang bumisita eh. Ngayon naman, nagpakita siya dyan. So, halata na. Di ba? Halata na talaga. Tingnan nyo ulit. Ginawang santo si Mima Alicia. Ginawang santo. Hinawakan, nag-sign of the cross. Santo pa yung naggumawa ng fake news. Ako po yung nakikiramay sa pamilya ni Mima Alicia kasi po namatay siya sa kanyang sariling personal problem. Okay? Ayaw kong pag-usapan yan. Ang sa akin lang, sablay itong si Tulfo. Okay? Kung nagiging fake news yung mga ibang mga banat ni Mima Alicia kay VP Sara at sa mga Duterte, at sabihin niya kay Duterte na mamatay na si Duterte, ilagay na yan sa karton, ilagay sa garapon o sana sa ganyan. namatay na yung tao, sige na. Kalimutan na natin yung mga banat niya sa mga Duterte. Ayoko nang pag-usapan yun. Nakikiramay po tayo kasi tao rin lang naman yan eh. Ang Panginoon na ang may karapatan kung saan siya pupunta. Sa langit ba o sa impyerno? O, diba? Kasi wala tayong ano. Hindi tayo huhusga. Tao lang po tayo, di ba? Pero, etong ginawa ni Tulfo sablay. Kasi ang tanong ng taong bayan, mas binisita mo itong si Mima Alicia na vlogger na political vlogger na namatay. Mas binisita mo yan eh. Bakit hindi mo binisita yung namatay na Move It driver? Bakit hindi mo binisita raw yung si Rene? Hindi ko kilala si Rene ha. Nagtatanong ang taong bayan. Di ba? Halatang halata na si Raffy Tulfo bumisita dyan for publicity. Kasi ang nandiyan sa burol ni Mima, mga dilawan eh. Halatang halata na namumulitika rin siya. Alam niya na ang mga dilawan ay posibleng kakampi niya panahon sa eleksyon ng 2028 kung siya may tatakbong presidente. Kaya pumunta siya dyan. So, ako, in my own opinion, pumunta si Raffy Tulfo dyan, pakitang tao. Pero doon sa Move It driver na namatay, na may anak na nagkaroon po ng autism, binisita po ni Vice President Inday Sara Duterte. Palakpakan si VP Sara. Di ba? Kaya sabi ko, si VP Sara talaga ang tunay na may malasakit sa atin, sa taong bayan. Hindi plastic, hindi kagaya nito. Bumisita lang dyan, kaplastikan, for publicity. Kung sasabihin nyo, yung mga Tulfo, mga matatapang yan eh. Tumutulong yan sa taong bayan, matapang yan. Yes. Tumutulong siya doon sa mga may kabit. Yung mga level of di ba? Kabit-kabit lang. Matapang lang ito. Kapag ang usapin, yung kabit-kabit, yung mga low status in life, matapang lang ito. Pero kung ang usapin, kaya mo bang ipaglaban ang taong bayan na galit sa flood control? Kaya mo bang paimbestigahan si Martin Romualdez, si Zaldico at si Bongbong Marcos sa mga korupsyon? Kaya mo ba? Hindi niya kaya. Yan ang point. Kaya galit na galit ang taong bayan. Yan ang point. Okay? Patapang lang si Tulfo sa mga mga mababang status in life. Yun lang po Kaya sablay si Raffy Tulfo.
Well, abot bibim, yawa ka.
Sablay. Okay. Without further ado, pakinggan natin itong si Attorney Powa, in-interview po ni Karen Davila. Alamin po natin bakit na-shock itong si Karen Davila sa mga sagot ni Attorney Michael Powa. Okay, ito po. Panoorin po natin. Ayan. Anong nangyari? Ayan, play. Ay, nag-ads. Skip. Skip natin. Skip. Uy, daming ads. Skip.
Let's continue our discussion on the impeachment trial of Vice President Sara Duterte. As I've said, we have both the prosecution and the defense. And now we're joined live by Attorney Michael Powa, spokesperson of the defense team.
Finally, Ma'am Karen.
Thank you.
Finally.
I meet you in person. All right, finally.
you.
Well, first
Thank
of
you.
all, I think you know that you got, in a way, rave reviews that you were the one appointed to speak head-to-head with Representative Chel Diokno, who you know also got rave reviews.
Yes, yes.
Right? So number one, is it now the defense's strategy that, I don't know, nagbago ba ng strategiya? Calmness na ba ang strategy na yun? Kasi ang kalmado mong tao eh.
Well, Ms. Karen, to be very candid about it, different styles lang talaga kami ng mga abogado, no? So there are, styles na medyo mas aggressive, may styles na mas kalmado. Siguro nataon lang it's really a privilege for me as well, no, na makatapat ko rin si Attorney Diokno or si Representative Diokno. So naging ganun yung kumbaga takbo ng oral argument. But that's not
And
to
you
say...
made good arguments.
Thank you, ma'am.
You
Thank you.
stated sections of the law wherein impeachment was not even mentioned.
As an exception,
Yes,
yes.
oo.
Well, thank you. Well, it was really something that we didn't plan, to be honest, because we did not know that it was going to be Representative Diokno on the other side. Also, kami, we were very mum about telling the media on who will be arguing. That has always been our strategy, not to tell who will be on deck for that day. So nagkataon lang talaga, and obviously I'm very thankful for everyone who has given their support.
Now, looking back at it now, you made really good arguments, but ang totoo kasi, may precedent na eh. Kumbaga, nagbigay na ang korte nung panahon ni Corona ng sabina.
Apo.
So now, tapos na ito, nagbigay na korte, but honestly speaking now, do you think it was a lost cause? Because it was done. And true enough, Chel Diokno made that argument.
Yes.
Binanggit pa niya yung mga senador na humingi ng sabina. Diba?
That was actually a good point on his part, let's be fair, no? But on my part naman, no, I did not think it was a lost cause. Why? Because although yes, meron tayong precedent in terms of the Corona impeachment, my point
Ang
there...
pinag-usapan dito yung yung bank records ni VP Sara na gustong buksan nitong mga prosecutors na ito. Pero delikado yan eh. Kasi pwedeng doon sila mag-fishing expedition. Anong ibig sabihin? Doon sila kukuha na kung ano-anong ibibintang na naman nila kay VP Sara. Kaya delikado, di ba? Sabi nila, kung wala naman kung wala namang tinatago si VP Sara, ay bakit naman kayo matatakot, ganun. Hindi naman sa inyo natatakot. But let's follow the rules. Let's follow what is written in the Constitution, and let's follow kung ano yung nakasaad sa bansa. So basta-basta na lang ba natin kakalimutan yung bank secrecy law? Di ba? So, ika nga, sabi nila, let's be technical. Kasi, kung kaya nila gawin ito sa Vice President, kaya rin gawin nila sa ibang tao. So kanya-kanya lang tayo. Lahat na lang tayo. Ibubulgar natin lahat ng mga bank records natin. Di ba? Hindi yan pwede.
Was from the time Corona impeachment occurred to what's happening now, there were things in the interim, supervening things in the interim. For example, what I mentioned about the AMLAC, na yung Section 8A,
Yes.
that wasn't there kasi during the time of former Chief Justice Coron's trial.
Yeah.
It only came about 2021. So, ang point ko lang, ang main thrust ko noon, of course, this is no longer going to the merits kasi
Yes,
tapos
of
na,
course,
napag-usapan
tapos na
na.
to. Oo.
So, yung point ko lang naman noon is to show that from that time to this time, marami ng pagbabago. Two things, no? One would be yung pagbabago sa batas, which is the amendment to, again, the AMLAC, no, or the AMLA. And then secondly, because of the Duterte versus HOR decision last year, which basically framed and defined what impeachable offenses are. So, to be honest, I thought we had a fair chance, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
And sa akin, respetuhin natin yung, kasi yun yung point namin di ba, na we are a country or a nation governed by rules and laws. And so kung yan ang naging desisyon ng impeachment court, we'd gladly submit to it. But of course,
very
we have to
professional.
say that colatilla, that without
respeto
prejudice
nila.
to any legal remedies that our client can avail when you get these adverse rulings.
Okay. Now, Attorney Michael Poa, what do you tell the public na ang pananaw, especially when you open social media, kung walang itatago ang vice-presidente, kusa niyang ilalabas, di ba? Kumbaga, unnecessary lahat ito if the Vice President felt we have nothing to hide, me and my husband, here are our tax records. Because technically, she can waive it. Here are our bank records. Di ba? Wala kong tinatagong yaman o anuman.
Well, first and foremost, I have to premise my answer with saying I do understand that sentiment from the public. Natural, no, na ganun yung nagiging sentimento. Pero at the risk of sounding too technical, ang point...
Pwede ka magtagalog.
Opo. Ang punto naman namin kasi is, ano ba ang legal principle sa sistema natin? It's presumption of innocence. So kung sinong nag-aakusa,
Correct.
sinong may aligasyon, siya dapat yung magpakita ng ebidensya. And so ang punto lang namin is, kung meron talaga kayong mga ebidensya to support your allegations, kayo yung maglabas. Hindi naman pwedeng sabihin natin na lang na, ay, sa tingin ko may ginawa kang pagkakamali. Ikaw na maglabas ng mga ebidensya kasi kung wala ka namang tinatago, hindi mo yan pipigilan. Which I think is sort of runs contrary to the principle of presumption of innocence. Second,
Grabe.
kung ganun na rin lang, wag na tayo mag-search warrant, wag na rin tayo mag all of these compulsory processes kasi ang parating hamon naman pala is dapat yung defense yung nagbibigay ng ebidensya.
Correct.
Which although I understand that may not be a
Ang
popular...
point ni Attorney Powa dito, kung ganun man lang, kung meron kang kalaban, pwede kang mangbintang sa kanya. Nagnakaw ka eh. Pumasok ka sa bahay namin, nagnakaw ka eh. Ganun, di ba? Tapos sasabihin ng binibintangan mo, anong proof mo? Ipakita mo yung proof mo. Ibalik. Sabihin mo, nagnakaw ka nga sa bahay namin. Pumasok ka sa bahay namin. Nakapula ang t-shirt mo. Sabi ng nakapula yung pinagbibintangan mo, naka-red t-shirt ako? Sasabihin mo naman, sige nga, ipakita mo nga yung red t-shirt mo. Ikaw yung nag-aakusa. Tapos, ikaw yung manghihingi sa akin ng red t-shirt na yun ang sinuot ko. Diba? Yun ang point eh.
thing to say. That is the legal system, and as lawyers, we have to protect our client with whatever protections are afforded by law.
Now, this isn't just a legal exercise. I've said this also to Attorney Ligutan. This is a political exercise. So you have the senator judges who will vote.
Yes.
Technically, they're not judges in other countries. They're just senators in an impeachment trial.
Yes, yes.
So a lot of them aren't lawyers, which is okay.
yeah.
Hindi naman kailangang
Opo.
abogado po ang isang senador. Pero how would the defense win over senator judges who are not yet leaning towards the vice president? Diba? What argument would you make?
Well, two things, no? One is syempre yung ebidensya na may ipapakita. That's very important in any proceeding. Even in a sui generis proceeding, gasgas na nga yung linya na sui generis, diba? Because we all know it's both legal, constitutional, and even political, no? To a huge extent. But secondly, I think it's also laymanizing things. No, I think that's very important. That's why when I delivered the oral arguments, sinubukan ko talagang magpasok ng Tagalog, simplihan yung mga bagay. And even during the question and answer, interpellation ng mga senators, I tried to simplify things. Kasi nga, hindi naman talaga importante na maging abogado ka para maging senator judge ka. Lalong-lalo na, we have people like former SP Tito Soto who has been through how many impeachment trials, diba? So, ang parati ko sasabi, hindi importante na abogado. Pero, we have to make them understand the technical rules and try to laymanize everything. At makita nila to a certain extent na okay, so hindi naman pala napatunayan na meron talagang ganito or meron talagang ganyan. It's
So,
really something that's important. And
Okay.
also public opinion matters.
Yes, public opinion matters the most here.
Yes.
Okay. So how would you make the public understand? Number one, sa grave threats tayo. Sinabi ng prosecution, tapos na po yun, no, na ipresenta na yung article na yun ng prosecution. Ang sinabi ng prosecution is the threat itself is already a criminal act. Yung mismong pagbanta niya, hindi kailangang patunayan na may kinontak na assassin, may hinire na assassin, naging operative na yung utos, hindi daw kailangan nun. The mere fact she threatened the president is enough.
Again, it's very difficult. I'm skirting
Go ahead.
contempt all the time, so I'll try to be as vague as possible with, at least answering your question. The mere characterization of it as a threat or banta, that is basically what we are putting at issue.
So para sa'yo, hindi banta yun?
Para sa depensa, hindi.
Oo. Ano yun?
Bakit? We will show through our
It's
evidence
your
in
turn.
chief.
Oo.
But sa amin kasi, if you read, I mean not read, but if you view that a few seconds of that clip, naintindihan natin bakit sinasabi banta. And that's why we wanted to show context, not only during that time, but even previous instances probably leading to that event, to show there's context and to show na kaya namin sinasabi na hindi natin pwedeng i-conclude na banta yun.
So sinabi ni Presiding Officer Escudero, iba ang ibig sabihin ng banta at babala. Di ba? May
Exactly,
definition
yes,
pa siya.
yes.
So attorney, anong stand ng defense? Ano yun? Babala ba yun?
Wag muna ngayon.
Wag muna.
Karen,
Oo.
wag muna ngayon.
Oo.
But, I mean, sa amin talaga, it's really the characterization of banta. So, could be babala, could be something else. That's something we're ready to show. No? Whether we will be able to convince the impeachment court or, of course, the general public, which you mentioned is most important, that's the task of the defense. No? And hopefully, we'll be able
Dapat
to.
ipaliwanag rin natin sa publiko kasi yung sistema nito iba. So tapos na ang prosecution magpresenta ng grave threats.
Opo.
Pero hindi kayo ang susunod na sasagot at magpipresenta.
Opo, yun nga po eh.
Yeah.
Ang unang ang sistema, although there are discussions on ano yung tamang
Sistema.
sequence. No?
Kasi baka makalimutan na ng publiko yung argument dito.
Opo. So we understand that sentiment. In fact, that was one of also the things we discussed internally as a team,
Yeah.
'di ba? Parang paano kaya
Parang
ang
babalik ka
diskarte
doon sa
dito.
una.
So I think there are talks but I cannot disclose anything just yet. But yun nga po ang sistema para sa
Para
kalaman
sa
natin mga
publiko natin
kababayan
to, oo.
is right now, if it's status quo, is dire-diretso yan article per article prosecution. Pagkatapos nun, once they rest their case o kung tapos na sila, depende naman. So we're thinking about let's say 3 months, 2 months for the prosecution, then another 2-3 months for the defense. So it's something that I think both parties will have to think about, the impeachment court will have to think about. I think there are discussions but I cannot fully disclose kung ano pa muna yon. But in any case,
what would benefit both? Wag lang kayo. Both.
may pros and cons yan eh. May pros and cons yan because on the one hand, pag nagsagutan kayo, medyo settled yung, kumbaga nag-join na yung issues, settled na.
Tapos na yun.
Medyo makapapaisip na yung senator judges, even the public, kung nasagot ba o hindi. On the other hand, kung ganun naman, defense will have the last say in a way, di ba? But that doesn't mean we'll win because it still depends on how we present the case. Kasi kahit naman we have the last say, pero kung walang laman yung nasabi namin, di wala rin. So, there are pros and
posibleng
cons.
magbago ba? Yung
I think that's something up to the impeachment court to but
pero
there are
next week kasi
discussions.
second article na eh.
Opo. So we'll see.
You'll
There are
see.
things that I cannot disclose yet as of this time kasi mga private conversations lang between lawyers.
Okay.
So but tingnan natin kung ano yung
Alright.
mangyari. But both, to be honest, may pros and cons yan. Both.
Okay, so Attorney Michael Pawano, to be fair, what do you believe was the weakness of the prosecution with grave threats?
For just
Yan.
$67,
Magaling yung
you can
tanong ni
generate
Karen,
as
ha?
many videos as you
Ano
want
yung
and never
weakness?
have to worry
Sasagutin
about
niya ni
showing your
Michael
face on
Poa.
camera or
Ayan.
using complex editing tools
Delete.
with only a few
Next.
clicks.
Skip.
I really don't want to comment on the weakness of
What
the other
weren't they able to prove?
Siyempre sa atin, we're going to say na hindi pa na-establish na talagang banta yun. Diba? That's one thing. Now, whether our position is correct. That has it's really up to the appreciation
Just
of the
give me your
impeachment court.
side. That's what's important here. Because Attorney Ligutan gave me his side. So you don't have to...
Sa amin, yun lang. Sa amin yun lang na hindi pa naman na-establish na talagang banta yung nangyari. I always say, we cannot deny the utterance. Magbobolahan tayo dyan pag sinabi natin,
kasi may
totoo ba
video
yung utterance? O pati ba yung utterance, deny natin? Hindi naman ganun ang takbo ng defense. But it's really more of the context. Yun yung gusto namin. Na hindi siya banta. And for us, of course, hindi pa na-establish yun. Especially because we haven't had our chance to present our evidence.
Okay. Now, is personal knowledge on hiring an actual contractor to allegedly kill the president, is that for you vital for the prosecution to prove? Because they keep saying it is not.
I'll be objective. For if ang allegation is threat, hindi
Grave.
naman, or grave threat,
Okay.
or grave, whether grave or less grave threat or less serious threat, I mean, hindi. Hindi naman siya vital. It's really meron ba talagang threat? I think that's the vital part, I mean, I've always stood in a position wherein we don't blur the lines regardless of our advocacies, at least for the greater public and those studying law, no. Hindi naman siya elemento ng grave threat. Of course, if there is really a contracted assassin, kaya nga yun ang takbo ng tanong namin kahapon, ano ba yung if the testimony is about a contracted assassin, what's the point? Kasi meron ng allegations sa impeachment, articles of impeachment na threat yung issue, no? So, magre-revolve lang dapat talaga tayo kung meron nga bang banta o wala. Now, to your question, of course, pag meron kang nasabing assassin to the minds of the public, parang there was really a plan,
Parang
etc.
totoo na yun.
Pero as far as simple lang tayo, yung threat lang mismo, or grave threat yan, I don't think it's vital.
Okay. It's not vital for you, but would this make this an impeachable offense? Meaning, how would you argue that, okay, nagbanta, well, hindi nyo nga sinasabi nagbanta, nasabi yun ni Vice President Sara Duterte, pero hindi siya dapat tanggalin sa kanyang opisina dahil doon. How would you make that argument to senator judges?
I'll be direct because hindi siya banta. Yun lang yun. Kasi ang hirap, Miss Karen, and I hope you'd indulge me with this, mahirap magsabi kung ang banta is already, syempre sa amin ang position that doesn't rise to the level of an impeachable offense, diba? But it's a political question in a way. No?
It is.
Because it will depend on the senator judges on how they appreciate that. And if they think simply making a threat against, syempre, the officials of our land is already an impeachable offense, that's up to them. So I'm not here to say, kasi that's really a discretion of the impeachment court. That's well within their wisdom. So sa amin lang, our target is to really show na, okay, banta, whether it's not, even if we believe that doesn't rise to the level of an impeachable offense, we never know how the impeachment court will appreciate that. So point natin is, hindi siya banta.
Now, the impeachment is about the accountability and the fitness of a
Yes.
public official. The prosecution presented videos of former mayor Sara Duterte punching a sheriff. In fact, I asked the prosecution, why didn't they build up on the supposedly violent character of the Dutertes as a whole, establish that? They believe that they have. How would you argue that she is still fit for office, gayong number one? Pasensya ka na, Algo.
Opo, yes.
Ang tatay niya nasa ICC. Yan ang, ito yung magiging tatay niya nasa ICC. Ang alegasyon, ang daming pinatay. Ang vice-presidente na to ng nananakit, ng bubugbog. So when you look at grave threats, it's not just about that one statement. It becomes about her character.
I understand that. I'll do probably one legal.
Karen, kasi mga inggit yan sa politika. Yun ang pinakauna. Nakulong nga si Tatay Digong doon sa ICC dahil sa kanyang mga kalaban sa politika. Baka nakalimutan ninyo yan. Galit sila sa mga Duterte kasi ang mga Duterte lamang po ang may kayang sugpuin ang mga problema ng bansang ito. Hindi kaya ng kagaya ni Tulfo, ni BBM at kung sino-sino pa dyan. Ang mga Duterte lamang po ang tunay na may malasakit. Kaya itong mga kalaban na ito ng mga Duterte, kino-convert nila na violence itong mga taong to, violence. Because pamumulitika, yun ang point. Di ba? Tapos, yun ang nila, ibabanat nila kay BP Sara. He is not fit to be the vice president kasi violence, blah, 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 blah. Wala. Pamumulitika.
Point as well, no,
Sure.
with my answer. The first point there is context pa rin dun sa nangyari back in the day, yung nangyari with the sheriff. No,
The
I think context is important, which I think Senator Bongo yesterday during his time explained to the public ano ba talaga yung nangyari doon. What was she protecting at that time?
And bagitin na natin, galit siya na dinidemolish yung bahay ng mga
Informal settlers
ng mga
na
informal
may
settlers.
usapan on a certain thing to give them some time, no?
Na-anchor ako kasi
Oo.
kaya naalala ko. Okay.
And then secondly, doon naman sa kay former president, we don't want to prejudge that case also because everyone's presumed innocent until proven guilty, and we don't know kung ano yung motivation behind him being sent to the ICC without going to the politics of everything. And thirdly, yung na-mention ko rin during the oral arguments, ano ba ang sinasabi ng Korte Suprema na impeachable offense? It's acts or omissions committed while someone is occupying an impeachable office and in relation to that office. So yan yung punto na parati naming pinaglalaban. Kasi yung previous acts, I understand integrity. I mean, that's a constitutional value. I can't deny that all of our public officials need to have integrity, diba? In fact, lahat tayo. But let's not confuse constitutional. So yan yung punto na parati naming pinaglalaban. Kasi yung previous acts, I understand integrity. I mean, that's a constitutional value. I can't deny that all of our public officials need to have integrity, diba? In fact, lahat tayo. But let's not confuse constitutional values with constitutional jurisdiction. Meaning, ano ba yung paglilitis ngayon? Impeachable offense, di ba? So, ano yung impeachable offense? So, yan na nga. Yan ang nasabi ng Supreme Court in relation to their office as an impeachable officer. Nung panahon na yun, hindi pa naman siya impeachable officer. And plus, not only that, we don't want to discount that, but also proper context on kung ano yung mga surrounding circumstances kung bakit may mga ganong nangyari no, sa kanya.
So para sa iyo, context is important.
Yes, context is important in every stage, actually, even with the prosecutions, with their evidence, with our evidence.
But impeachment is also about, as I've said, it's not legal. It's the hearts and minds of the people.
Yes.
How will the defense dispel fears when it comes to the Duterte brand? At the end of the day, that's what's being established with grave threats. Character, gusto nyo pa ba ng ganyan na opisyal? How would you battle that out? It's televised.
Yes. Well, in a way, we have to show na hindi what she's being portrayed as is actually not what she is, no?
So what is she? Tell us.
To me, what I've worked with her,
You did.
to be honest, yung nasabi nga nung minsan, nabato ako ng laptop di ba? That's not true. Totally not true. Hindi ako nabato ng laptop or anything. I've never seen her done that. She's never been violent. She's never even raised her voice at me, and I know some people might not believe me, but that's the truth. I was working with her since DepEd 2022. That was the first time I met her. So, at that point, I never had any personal bias because I didn't have any connection with the Vice President prior to that. And I really saw the real person that she is, very decisive. She knows what she wants, and that's what you need from a leader. And to be honest, I've never seen any outbursts or outrage. No? Now, if they're saying that because of that press conference way back in the infamous press conference, they considered that as an outburst, then that's why we need to show context on why that happened. It's not her character kasi. So that's something we need to successfully show to the public.
Okay, so let's move on from this. There's been criticism also, forgive me for bringing this up,
Yes, of course.
that the defense was weak. I mean, the performance, okay, I don't mean to insult any of your
No, okay
colleagues,
lang, okay
but
lang.
many were surprised that it didn't have more senior lawyers on the floor, and some felt, I mean, not you personally, but there were criticisms of sana galingan naman nila. May mga ganun. I mean, pasensya ka na, attorney. I'm sure nakita mo naman yun, no? Will the defense change?
Sila pa yung weak. Mas weak yung prosecutors. Ang galing-galing nga ng defense team. 'Di ba? Mas magaling pa nga yung defense team. Grabe, mga professional pa. Eh, sino yung yung mga sila ligutan? Wala namang kwenta yun. Si, ano yun? Si, Kapunan? Wala. Karen, sino ba ang nag-criticize? Mga dilawan. Kayo-kayo rin.
Change its strategy, or how would you assess, how the first article went,
Well,
the cross-examination?
to be very, very candid about things also, we had our targets for the first week, especially with witnesses that we thought were not as vital as others. We had targets. We feel that we met those targets. Now, as to how the public received it, we also can't deny that when we read things online, no matter how much we try to block out the noise, I think it's important for us to also learn from comments, because most are even constructive comments. So definitely, we took things into consideration. Maybe it's also because as litigants, we're so used to the court setting, and impeachment is a very different arena altogether.
It's like a teleserye, I'll be
Yes.
blunt. I mean, I've covered two. It's a lot of
Diba?
it is that.
Ibang klase. But,
legal and TV series.
Opo. But, ang parati ko sinasabi, every lawyer kasi has his or own style, no? But we're all learning from this. I think all of us, no, we watched impeachment trials before, but we'd never really been in it. So, will there be adjustments? Not major adjustments, but we do listen to what the public says, and siyempre there will be fine tuning here and there.
But you are one of the senior lawyers. I mean, will you be presenting or defending a major article?
Yes, I will be. I will be also cross-examining and directing our witnesses. But syempre, I work with a law firm also. So we have Attorney Sheila Sison as our lead counsel. It's important. When you have so many lawyers, you also have to worry about egos, diba? So what's good with our team is it's clear to us what our roles are, and we take our cue from our lead counsel, of course, Attorney Fortun. He's been guiding, he's been meeting with us all the time, he's very concerned with every issue, and he's been there to tell us what to do and what not to do.
Siguro tinatanong ng ilan, it's up to you. Nasaan si Attorney Fortun?
Si Attorney Fortun kasi, to be honest, medyo semi-retired na talaga siya. So, but he's been very involved, to be honest. Maybe not in the courtroom setting, but he's very involved. No? He messages us all the time. We meet all the time with him, regular meetings. He's there. He's providing guidance. Sa ngayon, will he appear or not? Di ko pa masasagot. No? Hindi ko pa alam kung kailan. Pero kami naman kasi, we also, we also have our strategies pagdating dito, which I cannot disclose, but meron kaming kanya-kanyang toka. But what's important in our team is that everyone is apprised of everything, because at any given day, baka pwede kaming mag-switch na ikaw na muna ang mag-argue dito, or ikaw na muna, you can take on this witness.
Now, Senator Mig Zubiri asked, this is the final question, asked, did at any point, did the Vice President issue a statement to say, in effect, ay joke lang yan, hindi yan totoo, or I didn't mean it? I remember that question from Senator Judge Mig Zubiri, to which your defense lawyer said, yes, sir, meron, but we will present it at the proper time. Attorney Ligutan was here and said, if the Vice President didn't mean that threat, di dapat may video na lumabas to say, I didn't mean that.
Maybe not in the words na joke lang yan or anything like that, but we do have evidence, in fact even a video, I think, to show na what she really intended at that time, and that's something we will present in the future without disclosing which video that is. No? But we're ready with that. We're ready with it. Hindi naman dun sa context na ay joke lang yan. Hindi naman ganon. But that will show na kung ano yung pinanggalingan niya nung panahon na yon, at na hindi banta yung intention.
Oo. So I think doon sa unang article, malinaw sa depensa na ito, hindi yun banta. Kasi ang prosecution, kahit na sinabi lang ang banta, krimen na yon. Sa inyo, hindi nga yun banta. Yun ang
yan-
punto nyo.
Yes, the characterization mismo of, amongst other things, no? One, we need to show context. Second, yung characterization na banta mismo yun yung sinasabi namin, yan yung issue. No, na hindi porket may nasabi na ganon, makukonclude na natin na nagbanta siya.
Okay. I asked Attorney Ligutan this also before we go. So what was your experience like? I mean, you've always been in the public eye somehow when you were in DepEd. You were always...
Ayan, patungkol na po yan sa experiences ng mga abogado sa impeachment. So, wala na po yung kaignayan sa issues ni VP Sara. So, ayan, no? You heard it with Attorney Powa, no? Nasagot naman lahat. Lagi nang sinasabi ng defense team ni VP Sara, mga attorneys niya dyan sa impeachment, ay wala talagang banta. Okay? Sa mga sinasabi rin ni Karen Davila, sa mga kritisismo na weak raw ang defense team, ang comment ko dyan, mga dilawan lang ang nagsasabi niyan. Pero ang buong taong bayan, hangang-hanga po sa defense team. Yung mga prosecutors, ang weak. Sobrang weak. Okay, so paki-like, paki-share na lang po sa mga nanonood, no? At sa mga hindi pa nakasubscribe, subscribe na po kayo. Give us your opinion. Ilatag nyo ang inyong opinion sa comment section at atin po niyang babasahin. Okay? Sa mga hindi pa nakasubscribe, subscribe na po. See you in my next video. Have a great day. Have a great night. God bless po sa ating lahat. Mabuhay ang Pilipinas and God save the Philippines.